Greetings and welcome to Up at 11 with Kina. Here at Up at 11 with Kina, we're passionate about you being informed, enlightened, and empowered by the truth of who you truly are. So, here on Up at 11 with Kina, we talk about a variety of subjects. Some of my favorites are religion, spirituality, astrology, and numerology. So, I'm so honored and just super excited to have with us today Lovell Rouser of the Vibration Society. He's been known as the Penmaster. So I'm really excited to learn more about him, the Vibration Society, and I'll just thank you for being with us today. And for those who are not familiar with you and the Vibration Society, give us a summary of what you guys do and what you're passionate about.
Okay. And greetings to everyone. And of course, I am Lovell Rouser. And I have been studying numerology since 1966, actually, June 6, 1966. I know that may sound a bit coincidental, but that is the truth. I was introduced to numerology by a foreign exchange teacher that I had in the sixth grade. And she would share with us her experiences as an exchange teacher throughout Europe, Africa, and Asia. And she had lived in what is now called Egypt in
Mm,
Northeast Africa. And she would explain to us that uh, she could see the Great Pyramid of Giza just outside of her window. And when she
wow.
showed us pictures of the pyramids, I became very, very enthralled and very fascinated with it. But even more, when she made mention of numerology and how it pertained to the pyramids, I jumped out of my seat and I said, oh, I know that, I know that, I know that. I was
Mhm.
very, very excited. It was like a bolt of lightning had hit me. And as I sat down, I looked around at the class and I said to myself, I don't know anything about numerology. And so from there on, she began to discuss numerology.
Mhm.
One of the things that I can say that she did for me on a personal level was that she told me that I would be a champion basketball player,
Mhm.
which did happen like 7 years later.
Wow.
And I didn't really remember until after the fact. Everything was over. Winning a championship in high school basketball, so on and
Mhm.
so on, being offered many scholarships to play basketball, so forth and so on. And after that, I said, it must be something to this numerology because it happened exactly like she said it would.
Mhm.
And so between the time that I first was introduced until the age of 21, I tinkered with numerology a little bit. I would read little books. I would go to the bookstore, not buy the book, but just sit there and read the book and put it back on the shelf. I did
Mhm.
that for many, many years until I became more involved with the numerology. And then I moved to Atlanta, Georgia in 1977. And that's when I really got into numerology because I met a few people who also were familiar with numerology. They didn't know
Mhm.
much about numerology, but they were familiar. And so there, at that time in Atlanta, were a lot of trade-in or used bookstores. And I would go buy these books for 50 cents, most times less than $1. And
Yeah.
I would just stock up on these books and read voraciously
Mhm.
about numerology. I would go to the library. I would check out encyclopedias, at that time, whatever media that was going on at that time, which is much
Yeah.
unlike, you know, today's present. But
Mhm.
that's how I got my start with numerology. I became so fascinated that I felt that this was very much a part of me. And then when I would do my own analysis of my own name and my own birthday, I found out more, and I had to own up to a lot of things. Some which I liked and some which I didn't like.
Yeah.
But nonetheless, it helped me to develop and to grow. And I saw this as being a tool to really empower and to really help people, especially everyone, but especially with young people,
With younger
because
people. Hmm.
yeah, elementary. I feel that this should be introduced into the elementary school system. And I made several attempts back in the early 80s to do so, but at that time, the school systems were not particularly interested in
Hmm.
incorporating that. So I began to share my wealth of knowledge with the mentorships, many various mentorships programs that were
Hmm.
in uh, the African American community
Hmm.
here.
Okay,
So
so is that how the Vibration Society got started, through your mentoring and teaching?
exactly. It actually started off as a one person organization. And there have been people who have come in and who have left for whatever and various reasons.
Hmm.
And so I still maintain the Vibration Society and numerology as being my focal point in life.
Right.
And it's open to anybody who is interested and willing to learn and to study, and even more so, find out who they are. That's the important thing, because so many people come into this world and leave this world but never know who they are. And
Right.
I find that to be a very a travesty in our society.
Hmm. So, how did your family and friends react to your studying numerology and becoming fascinated with numbers, and how serious you were getting about it? How did they respond to that?
Well, at first, I was very secretive about it because
Hmm.
I grew up in a Baptist church environment.
Hmm.
And so that at that time, that was not anything that you brought to the table or introduced to family members, because like I said, I come from a very strong Baptist religious background
Yeah.
from the South in Alabama. And so it wasn't until my youngest sibling, uh, who's 14 years younger than me, I introduced her to it. And then she took it and introduced it to other family members. I made it known what I was doing and what I was studying,
Hmm.
but I never shared it to the point uh, when my youngest sibling, my sister, began to take it upon herself to read and study. And she found it very fascinating too.
Hmm.
So actually, for the family, she was the doorway into the acceptance of numerology. And other family members began to understand it better and really know that it was not something that was evil or the workings of the devil,
Right.
as in many situations it was so said. But you know, I like to share this uh, with people of African descent moving from the South to the North in the 30s, 40s, and 50s. They brought along a lot of culture with them. And when my folks moved to New York City, to Harlem, they uh, were met with some of the same people who were from Alabama, Mississippi, the Carolinas, Georgia, so forth and so on.
Hmm.
And one of the things that was common among all the folk was the numbers, or as they say, the numbers game, which was
Mm.
the precursor to the lottery.
Oh, okay.
Right? Yeah. Now, in the numbers game, money was being made in our community. It was like our stock and bond. It was like our Wall Street, our own Wall Street that we developed. People would place their numbers that they would play. It either would be a 3-digit or 4-digit number. The odds were anywhere from 50 to 1 that would pay up to 500 to 1. And people would pay their quarters, their 50 cent.
Mm-hmm.
If you had a little money, you paid $1, and that was a lot. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
But the numbers was something that permeated our culture from that standpoint.
Yeah.
Uh, the numerology, which is very much a part of the whole numbers system of numbers, uh, I found to be talked about just a little bit, especially sitting in barbershops and listening to the elders talk about playing the numbers, or the number got hit, or you at the beauty shops, the beautician shops, so forth and so on. So it was always there. It's just that I learned to fine tune it in a way that it can be used also for self development of a
Mm-hmm.
person. Mhm.
Right. Okay. So earlier you said you shared about people knowing who they are. So for
Right.
someone who may be listening who had no idea that they could use numbers or study numbers to learn more about themselves, explain how that works. How do you use numbers, or how can you study numbers to learn more about yourself?
Okay. Well, in the science of numerology, which is the study of numbers, the esoteric study of numbers, the symbolism of numbers, uh, all cultures have a numeric system, meaning that every letter of the alphabet has a significant number correspondence, like in our language, the 26 letters of the English alphabet. The first letter in our English alphabet is the letter A, which has a vibration of the number 1. The letter B is the number 2. The letter C is the number 3, so forth and so on.
Mm-hmm.
Now, with that, you can take any name, any person's name, and find out about that person down to some very, very, very clear exactness. Uh, the name, of course, is broken down into 3 main areas, and those 3 main areas has to do with the vowels, the consonants, then all the letters in the name. You'll find that the number 3 becomes a very important and significant number in culture and society. Uh, when you, when, as we say, you delineate the name through the correspondence of letters and numbers, numbers to letters, you can determine the outcome of different areas of a person's what we call spiritual blueprint or a numerology chart.
Mm.
You can look into a person and find out what is their spiritual makeup. That stems from the vowels in the name. You can look at a person and determine what kind of personality that they are. That stems from the consonants in the name. And then you
Mm.
can look at a person's personal experiences, the type of contacts that they will have, the interests that they have, the kind of profession or work that they may do. That stems from all the letters in your name. And then we can break it down even further, and we can go letter by letter by letter by letter. And then also in the name, it carries within it cycles. Whenever I ask people how many letters are in your name, they have to think about it for
Mm-hmm.
me. Okay. We know so much, but we don't know how many letters in our name. When I was first asked, I didn't know.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. The number of letters in your name determines your character in life.
Mm.
Okay. Now, another thing that I like to share. Uh, Back in the mid '80s, I was on radio here in Atlanta on a show called Talk Back Atlanta with Joe Walker on WAOK, the black-owned radio station in Atlanta, Georgia.
Mm-hmm.
And I would come on there every Friday from 8 to 10 for many weeks. And many of the elders who grew up in the South would say that when they were courting or courting, as they would say,
Yeah.
uh, uh, when a man and a woman were coming together, of course, the young man he had to be introduced to the family.
Mm-hmm.
There was no nonsense. They had to be introduced to the family. Very different than it is now. But you
Yes.
always had somebody in the family or in the community that could, as we say, read the numbers. They could tell you if these two people were a match or if they were not a match. Okay? And
Yeah.
this was told and revealed to me, and I did not know this, and I had already been in studying numerology 15 years. And
Mm.
no one had actually ever shared that to me. So our people, this numerology comes from our culture, and I richly want to say that we need to understand it. This is not something that came from a far off place. This is
Right.
something that really originated with us and has been carried down from generation to generation, from centuries to centuries. Okay.
Wow. That's great information. I can't wait to go back and watch this and take notes and all that good stuff. So okay, so what I've done in the little bit I know about numerology is I've taken my name, found the corresponding number for each letter, and added all the numbers up. So that's the limit of knowledge that I have. So
Right.
what you just shared with us is you can also take just the vowels out
Right.
and get a spiritual teaching
Right.
or meaning or guide from
Exactly.
just the vowels. You can take the consonants out and you can learn about your work or
Well, that would be your personality.
your personality. Okay,
Your
right.
person,
Spirituality with the vowels, personality with the consonants, and
your
what was it?
profession. We call it in numerology your expression. How well you channel and express yourself.
And that's
Okay,
the entire name.
that's the entire name.
Okay, wow. That's
Okay.
great. So are those what you call your life? There are several different calculations. You know, when you go online and you do your little research, and of course you don't really know how valuable these resources are, but I've heard about your life path number. Can you go
Okay.
down like a list of uh,
Okay. Okay.
descriptions for some of these numbers or calculations we can come up with?
Okay. Then I'll go back with the vowels. Now the vowels, as I said before, uh, it has several different names. Now some of the definitions they are commercial.
Okay,
They have a copyright on it. So that's why I want to stick with the standards. The
got you.
standards would be the vowels deal with your spiritual life, your spiritual self, who you are from inside out. Many times it's referred to as the soul, okay, or the
Hmm.
inner soul, or the soul urge, okay.
Yeah.
That's the vowels. Now, mind you, when you look at the word vowel, the root word in vowel is VOW.
Mm,
Vowel.
right. Mm,
Okay. When you take upon a certain name with a certain vibration in your vowels, you're taking on a a vow,
mm.
sacred vow. And this is something that's very integral to understand so that we can better understand and know who we are.
Yeah.
The biggest problem in our society right now is that people don't know who they are. When you ask people who are they just tell you everything except who they are.
Yeah.
They tell you what they like to eat, they tell you what kind of car they drive, where they work, what position they hold, how much money they make. So they never tell you who they are.
Mm-hmm.
'Cause
Right.
okay.
Mm-hmm.
The second area would be the personality. Your personality, this is the area where you show forth your prowess, who you are, how you exhibit yourself before the public. this is the area where you're most likely to be described as.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, she's got a lovely personality. You know, she has
Mm-hmm.
a radiant personality. Okay. You
Mm-hmm.
have people who have radiant personalities but are rotten on the inside.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so personality can be a problem that we can run into if we don't learn to identify.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes there can be a very strong conflict between soul and personality.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
That happens. And people live in emotional and mental anguish.
Yeah.
All right. Then we have the expression. Well, this is your expertise,
Okay.
what you're capable of doing, and how you go about doing it. Okay. And with the expression is also involved with your avocation, your vocation, how much money you're going to make, how much money you're not going to make, your attitude in life.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. A lot of things passes through the expression. The expression, you will find that it's a developing process, or there is a potential that's present with that, let's say, young child.
Mm-hmm.
This young child, they like to tinker with numbers. They can become a very outstanding mathematician. Okay. So we really have to look at the expression as well.
Mm-hmm.
Now we come to another area. Let's leave the name. Let's go to the birthday.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
When we come into this world, we're born into a month, a day, and a year.
Right.
When we take the month, the day, and the year and add all those digits together, we arrive at a single number.
Mm-hmm.
And this single number is referred to as your life path. Some numerologists will call it your destiny number, but they're the same. The addition of the month, the day, and the year in which you were born.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, this is very telling. Why? Because this is fixed. Unlike your name, which can be changed,
Mm-hmm.
okay, uh, the birthday is fixed. So that's why we call it your destiny or your life path.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes it's referred to as your life force number.
Mm.
Okay. This is the vibration that carries you through all of the ups and downs of life.
Yeah.
Okay. And the numbers of the life path or destiny numbers, they run from 1 to 9, and then you have some additional number vibrations,
Mm-hmm.
which we call master numbers. They can be 11, 22,
Mm-hmm.
33.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, those are the master numbers.
Yeah.
And then you have what we call higher master numbers. Those are 33, 44, and 55.
Mm-hmm.
And then you have extra higher master vibrations. You have 77. I'm sorry. So, yeah, 77, 88, and 99.
Mm.
Okay. Now, mind you, there are many, 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 many people walking around with these vibrations that are just totally clueless and unaware
Yeah.
of the power that they possess, either in their birthday or in their name.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So is there, I was on a clubhouse the other day and they were talking about numerology and numbers, and some of the people were they reference a number as a good number or a bad number. I mean, you have all these people out here teaching things and sharing things, and you just have to kind of, sift through it and do your own research to find out, because unfortunately everyone isn't speaking truth as it relates to numbers. So Is there
Yes,
a such thing as a good number and a bad number?
no.
Right.
It's how you use the vibrations which you have acquired or has been given to you.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
You have people, I would say, I would give you an example. People who have the number 8, all right,
Mm-hmm.
okay, they would make excellent business people,
Okay.
make money, employ people, motivate people, motivate other people to be moving to the area of business and handling money, okay, on a very big scale.
So if you're listening right now and you take your whole birth date, the month, the date, and the year, and you add all those numbers together and you keep breaking it down until you get to one digit. And if your one digit is the number 8, then take some notes and take it into account what is being shared with you today about this vibrational number that you carry with you. So,
Exactly. Now, the number 8 is a very strong, very powerful vibration.
mhm,
You will find people who are executives in our society, they have this number 8. Anywhere that you see people who make large sums of money, 99.999 tenths of a chance, they have this number 8.
mhm,
Now, on the other side, I'm going to speak on it some more on a
mhm,
positive note, but I want to bring this out. On the opposite end of the spectrum, the number 8 can become a person who is corrupt, a
mhm,
person who leads a life of crime, an
mhm,
individual who is involved uh, with the military or on the wrong side of law enforcement, with the police. Okay.
mhm,
I find that many of our young African American brothers and even now sisters who have this powerful number 8 vibration, they are usually involved with, they're introduced very early in life uh, with some culture of crime.
mm,
Okay. They have a savvy about them to make money because the number 8 is a very strong money number vibration.
mhm,
If you have this number 8 as your life path or destiny number, as we just explained, or if you are born on the 8th, 17th, or 26th, or if you're born in the 8th month, 8th calendar month of the year, you have a great measure of this 8, number 8 vibration, which will have a very profound and very strong impact on your life. One thing I can say about the number 8, there is no denying of the number 8.
mhm,
Now, the number 8 is also a number which deals with justice and also law.
mm,
You can deal with law from the positive side, or you can deal with law from the negative
mhm,
side. Okay. You'll find that many of your industrialists, especially with the making of America, one particular person would be J.P. Morgan or the Vanderbilt family.
mhm,
Okay. These people, they knew the power of vibrations. They knew the power of number vibrations. These families have been interested in knowing about numerology and other systems of numerology for quite a long time. And that's how they are able to hold sway and be in control.
mm,
That's another descriptive of the number 8, is being in control, being able to manage large sums of money or large sums of land or resources, whatever. You're going to find it with the number 8. The number 8 has a dominant effect on our everyday life. 8 is the number of business. So if you have 8, you got to be all about business. You got to know business. And if you don't have the 8 somewhere in your name or your birthday, then that means you need to learn about money. You need to learn about business, insurance policies, trust, wills, land, everything. There's not one single thing that you can do without having some knowledge of business. Even if you go and get a debit card or a prepaid card, that's dealing with money and dealing with business.
Right, right. Which is
So there's no,
like, I'm sorry, go ahead.
I said so there's no escaping the power of the number 8.
Right.
Also, going into the number 8, the number 8 deals with law. And when I say law, I'm speaking more of universal law. One of the universal laws that the number 8 deals with is what we call karma, or as they would say in the Bible, the law of reaping what one has sown. What you do to others is going to come back to you. Okay, and it's a constant. And the reason why it's a constant, Kina, is because when you look at the symbolism of the number 8, you see 2 circles, which is indicative of 2 worlds touching each other. Okay, 8 is powerful. 8 sometimes is synonymous with what we call infinity, a constant. All right, a constant power. You have to learn how to use your power. If you don't know how to use your power in this world, you are pretty much lost and you're being enslaved by something or someone else. And that's the negative action of the number 8 is enslavement. When you look, I'll use some symbolism with you. When you look at those iron chains that people were shackled with on their arms, on their wrists and on their ankles. When you look at the links of that chain, what does it look like?
The number 8.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Domination, control. Now the links from the chain have been removed, the shackles have been removed, but has been placed on our mind.
Yes.
The number 8 is also responsible for the rulership of what we call the higher mind. When you're dealing with the power of the number 8, you need to tap into your higher mind, meaning your higher self. 8 is twofold. As I said before, you got 2 worlds, 2 orbs, 2 circles touching each other. The higher world, the lower world. Okay? The physical world, the spiritual world. There's many ways of looking at this when you're involving the number 8. Okay? And so this power must be understood. And for some people, it takes many, 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 many lifetimes, okay, to really gather this knowledge and really understand it. That's why the number 8 is the number which rules what we call in metaphysics reincarnation. Okay. So the number 8, I just wanted to use that as an example. I didn't mean to go off on a tangent.
No, that's
good this morning.
that was awesome. Perfectly fine. Please do that. Go with the flow. Yeah, that was great. So for people, I don't think I have 8. I don't think I have and which makes perfect sense because I need to be more business minded. I need to be more money focused. I have to work at that part. So that definitely resonates with me. So for those of us who don't have particular numbers in our name or birthday, we can still tap into the energy and the vibration of that number by doing the work.
Exactly. exactly.
Yeah.
And excuse me, something
Mhm.
happened with my phone here.
That's okay.
Can
You're yeah.
can you hear me?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I can
For
hear you.
some reason, the volume has been lowered.
Okay.
You can still see me. I'm sorry. I don't know what happened.
That's okay. That's okay. It happens sometimes. I can still see you and I can still hear you. So if you want to go ahead and just adjust on your end, um,
Okay.
we're fine, and we'll just wait until you can get your audio back or your visual back. But yeah, we're
All
here
right.
today, up at 11 with Kina. We have Lovell Rouser of the Vibration Society with us today. We're talking about numbers, numerology. We're talking about how you can learn about your own numbers, your personal numbers, whether that be via your name or your birth date. I mean, we all, as Lovell just shared with us, we all have numbers that are assigned to us that we carry. So it's very important that we learn that information so that we can be more in tune with who we are naturally and learn how to work with those numbers. And unfortunately, it looks like Lavelle is having some technical difficulties. So we're just going to give it a few more minutes and hopefully he'll be back with us. Until that time, thank you for being here. Thank you for watching the video. If you enjoy the video, please like the video and hit the subscribe button and stay in contact with us. Stay with us so that you can get more of these videos. There are more to come. There's some interviews and some footage, some videos that you can look at that we broadcast in the past. And yeah, share the video. Share the video with someone that you think would be interested to learn more about numbers or anything that we share about here on Up at 11 with Kina. Just a few more moments. We're going to give Lavelle a few more moments. Hopefully yep, he is back with us. All right, all right.
Folks, I don't know what happened.
That's
It's
that's okay.
technology.
It actually happened to me on one of my shows. I lost my video and audio. So yeah,
Okay.
it's cool. So
Okay.
yeah.
But the number 8, I you know I use that as an example because the number 8 affects all of us, whether we realize this or not. And I feel that we need to become more aware of the predominance of certain vibrations that exist out here
Hmm.
at at any given time.
Exactly.
Okay.
Yeah. So what do you mean by vibration? How do you connect the number to a vibration, or what does that mean when you say vibrate the vibration of the number?
The vibration of the number, the vibration, everything in our society has, everything not in our society, in our world, in this universe, has movement. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, Even a rock, it has a vibration.
Yeah.
Although it may have a low vibration, we may see that rock move maybe one time in 30 days.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. It may make a little, may do a little wiggle. Okay. It's not that the rock is dead, it is that the vibration is so long that it's only necessary for it to move one time during a 30-day period or a 6-month period.
Mm.
Now, vibrations of numbers are also associated with what we call the planetary energies.
Mm.
Every planet has an associative number vibration. Example, going back to the number 8, the planet which is associated with the number 8 is the planet Saturn.
Mm.
Okay.
Okay.
The heavenly body, which is associated with the number 1, is the sun, because the sun provides us all the light and the nourishment
Mm-hmm.
of this world that we live in. No sun, no life, no existence.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? The number 2, I'll run through the numbers. The number 2 is associated with the moon. Okay?
Okay.
Which reflects the light of the sun. So there's a very strong correlation between the number 1 and the number 2. The number
Mm-hmm.
1 deals with the masculinity. The number 2 deals with the femininity.
Mm-hmm.
Both are equally powerful, and people should understand it. The femininity is just as powerful as the masculinity, and in some cases, even more.
Mm-hmm.
Okay?
Okay.
The third number, or the number 3, or what we call the symbolism of the triangle,
Mm-hmm.
it has as its planet Jupiter.
Mm.
Jupiter is the largest planet in our solar system.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes Jupiter has been referred to as a sun within itself. All right?
Mm-hmm.
The number 4. The number 4 has as its planetary energy outside of our Earth, Uranus.
Mm.
Uranus deals with power. It
Mm-hmm.
also deals with electricity. Okay. The number 5 is associated with the planet Mercury. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
The number 6 is associated with the planet Venus.
Wow.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
The number 7 is associated with the planet Neptune.
Mm.
So I talked about 8 being associated with Saturn. And then the number 9 is associated with the planet Mars.
Wow.
Okay. Now, as these planets move cyclically around the sun, because the
Mm-hmm.
sun is the central theme or the central point.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. As these planets move around, they produce or they give off a particular vibration. It's just like you walk around the block
Mm-hmm.
one time, you're going to feel different than you did before. Why? Because you have created a movement. You have stirred up something within yourself that we
Mm-hmm.
call that, and we call that vibration. Well, when you're born, certain vibrations that are present, the strongest ones which are present at that time, are the ones that you collect and you maintain and keep in your life.
Mm-hmm.
Most notably with your life path or your destiny note.
Yeah.
All right. And you can feel and you can know these vibrations through and by the study of numbers and numerology.
Wow.
Okay. Now, it gets a little deeper, but I'm giving you the most simplistic understanding
Mm-hmm.
of the numbers and their vibrations. The numbers are akin to the musical scale.
Mm-hmm.
You know how you have do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, si, do.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Okay. It's the same thing with the numbers. Actually, when I began to study music, I was not taught by the notes. I was taught by the numbers.
Wow.
And I moved from the numbers to the notes. And I
Mm-hmm.
clearly understood music a whole lot better. I could tell you immediately what note is being played. And I can still do it to a degree today.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And I can tell you what note is harmonious, what note is discordant.
Mm-hmm.
And it's the same thing with the number vibrations. You ever wonder why you come into contact with somebody and both of you are standoffish with each other,
Yeah.
is because you may have certain vibrations which are discordant with that other person's vibrations.
Mm-hmm.
So everybody's not always going to be in agreement with one another unless they can sit down at the table and talk about what bothers them or what disturbs them, so forth and so on. And then there are certain vibrations that they're just not ever going to come together.
Mm.
And we need to recognize that.
Right.
Okay, so there's this powerful attraction that numbers and vibrations are constantly giving and receiving from one another at
Mm-hmm.
all times. Okay, we have to remember that we, as souls on this planet, we're like a walking universe. Everything which exists in the universe is within us.
Yes.
Everything, the
Mm-hmm.
same thing. The cells in your bodies are likened to the stars in the heavens.
Mm.
And more people are aware of them. Some people become more aware of themselves, even from infancy. They know what they want to do. And some people, they have to learn over a period of time.
Right. I agree. Another thing some people talk about a lot, I think that's really hitting the mainstream, is people are talking about seeing repeating numbers like on a clock, or people seeing 333 or 444. Every time I look at the clock, it's 3:33 or it's 11:11. What would you say to people who are having those experiences where they're seeing repeating numbers or a set of specific numbers on a daily, or, often, quite often? What would you say to those people having those experiences?
Okay. Those repeating numbers, they can be looked at in a number of ways. Um, Sometimes those repeating numbers uh, are attempting to tune you into certain vibrations or certain relativities that are going on with yourself, within yourself. Many times, the common thing I will say is that when you see those numbers often, especially throughout any one particular day,
Mm-hmm.
slow down and try to listen to
Mm-hmm.
what's being communicated or conveyed to you. All
Yeah.
right. Uh, Also, those numbers are also conveying to you a certain kind of acceleration that's going on in your spirit, in your soul, in your consciousness. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, Sometimes these numbers they will also speed up, they can speed you up or they can slow you down.
Mm-hmm.
Realize that what we see as numbers are symbols, but there's a consciousness that's behind every number vibration.
Mm-hmm.
We may not see it, we may not be able to touch it, but we can feel and know its presence in our life.
Right. That's good. So what would you suggest for someone who's curious about numerology, who wants to learn more? Like, where does one begin? Is there a book that you recommend, that we start with?
Well, there's several good books. I One of the books that I would recommend is a book entitled Numbers and You by Lloyd Strayhorn.
Okay.
African American numerologist. Well, he refers to himself as an astronumerologist because he
Mhm.
also incorporates astrology into his uh, uh, study of numerology.
Mhm.
But uh, Lloyd Strayhorn, that would be a very good book to start out with.
Okay.
I'm I'm a step by step person. I know some people like to just really delve into things very quickly. Oh, I want the deep stuff. Well,
Yeah.
I tell people all the time, it's all deep.
Right.
Okay,
Right.
is where you start. Now, I like to start from the basis, understanding, the numbers 1 through 9.
Mm-hmm.
Now, you can go on the internet, and there's some various YouTubes, there's some various websites, and just type in numerology or ancient numerology and read what is being written or said about each of the numbers. And the more that you study the numbers, the more that the numbers are going to reveal themselves to you.
Mm-hmm.
But I do say it's better to have a sincere heart
Mm-hmm.
when you are approaching the study of numbers and numerology.
Okay.
Without a sincere heart and interest in numerology, uh, you can be easily deceived, because numbers have a mind, they have a power of their own.
Mm-hmm.
Where does this power come from? I don't know. I do know that they do.
Right.
Okay. And it's been in life ever since we have been here on this planet, and also in other worlds and other planets as well.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, so that's what I would simply start off with, just getting one simple good book on numerology, Lloyd Strayhorn, Numbers and You, and then pick up from there. And on this next podcast we're going to do, we can go even further.
Awesome.
Okay,
That's what
so
yeah.
you can hold me to that.
Don't worry, I will. I definitely will. Thank you for that, because there's so much to get into. There's so much to discuss, and I definitely want to, do this again and again and again, hopefully, and get deeper into the numbers, so that our viewers can have opportunity to send in questions, possibly. And let me
Yes.
ask, do you offer readings? Do you offer, for do you take clients to come in and work numbers and give them suggestions and advice based off their numbers?
Yes, I do offer numerological consultations based on their name, and also based on their birthday.
Mm-hmm.
And the first consultation, I ask people that they give me 1 hour of their undivided time and
Mm-hmm.
attention,
Mm-hmm.
because what is found when you do a person's numerology chart or blueprint is, I find, to be very fascinating. And I
Mm-hmm.
have been doing this for more than 40 years,
Yeah.
and numerology just simply amazes me as
Mm-hmm.
to the depth and insight that you can uh, share with someone.
Mm-hmm. Yes, absolutely. I can attest to that. I've not had a reading. I don't guess not a technically I haven't had a reading, but Lovell has shared. I mean, the very first time we spoke, I gave him my birthday, and he just began to tell me about myself, and it was very much accurate, very much. I mean, I was overwhelmed with the things that he was able to tap into, and the advice that he gave, and some of the things he said, he shared, that were just spot on. So highly recommend, you guys, if you're viewing, if you're curious about, if you want to know more about your numbers, as it relates to your name and your birthday, we'll have Lovell's contact information down in the comment section below, so they'll know how to contact you. If you want to share maybe your email address or the method of contact that potential
Okay.
clients, how can they reach you?
My email address is Vibration Society. It's all one word, Vibration Society at gmail.com. And I'm also on Facebook under Lovell Rouser, Lovellrowser. And I have a Facebook page which deals with numerology called the Society of Numerology. And I post a lot of information. And please um, go through it, because there has been a lot of information that I have posted that I write. I don't copy and paste.
Yeah,
Everything that I
that's
do
me.
comes from the heart.
I'm the
Okay.
copy. I'm the copy and paster.
I write this. I sit down and I receive I receive inspiration on and from the numbers as to what to write about, so
Mm-hmm.
that people will be well informed in advance
Yeah.
about what's happening in their individual life, as well as what's happening in the world at large. And that's the beautiful thing about numerology. You can touch on any subject, be it business, be it family, be it child, whatever it is, be it what kind of car to drive, what's your license tag, the kind of vibration that
Mm.
uh, is on the license tag that you have on your car,
Yeah.
okay? What you can expect from your vehicle on the day that you bought it,
Mm.
we can tell that. It's just so much, it's endless.
Yeah.
The study is endless. And so people ask me all the time, well, you know, can you teach me? I can get you started. I can show you some of the things that I've acquired.
Right.
But a person who really wants to know, you'll find that that person is going to be studying
Mm-hmm.
themselves,
Mm-hmm.
studying the numbers. And uh, one thing about me when I teach people, the the thing that I go back to once again is to have a sincere heart,
Mm-hmm.
but also study numbers. It's just like teaching a child to play an instrument. You teach that child their musical scale, and you teach that child to go up the scale, down the scale, up the scale, down the scale, backwards and forwards, back and forth, until they know that scale like they're breathing every day.
Mm-hmm.
And that's how, if you study numerology and treat it so, it, it will reveal itself to you. It
Yeah.
certainly will.
Yeah.
Okay. So
Absolutely. Yeah. Go ahead.
so the numbers, the vibrations are such that I want to clarify one thing. There are many systems of numerology, and the one that I have been speaking about has been what we call the rule of nine, dealing with the nine numbers and the 26 letters of the alphabet. Now, you're not going to find this readily available. What you're going to find is that it's going to be referred to as the Pythagorean system of numerology. Now, Pythagoras, who was a great philosopher, he had to acquire his knowledge of numerology, vibration, sound, and music, because all of this goes together from the ancient Egyptians, our ancestors.
Mm-hmm.
Usually, you would have to go through a 40-year educational period.
Mm-hmm.
Pythagoras only went for 22 years.
Mm.
Okay. So he only received a little more than half of what he should have or could have received.
Wow.
Okay. And so I just want to say that to you, that numerology is not something that you're going to pick up on an application.
Right.
Okay. Now,
Mm-hmm.
mind you, there's some good informative applications, but when you really want to get really, really in tune with the vibrations, you got to study, and
Mm-hmm.
you got to put your heart into
Yeah.
it. Okay. And this is not to persuade or dissuade anybody from
Right.
numerology. I'm just sharing with you after more than 50 years of being involved with this, how much it has helped me and benefited me.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Awesome. Awesome. Well, thank you so much. I'm just so grateful that you took the time out to share with us today. Again,
Well,
I'll have his contact information down below in the comment section. So if you're interested in getting a reading or contacting Lovell with your questions or concerns, you can reach out to him via email. And also, I'll have a link to his Facebook pages. Everything will be below in the comment section. We look forward to having him back again and again and again. He
exactly.
doesn't know it. He doesn't know it, but it's kind of stuck with me. I have a yeah. So
Yes. And I look forward to doing this many, 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 many more times. I really, really do. And, to the public that's listening, I have to really appreciate Keena for reaching out to me and asking me and being patient with me, because I know the first few weeks of content was a little iffy, but with us all, there was a lot that was going on. But
yeah,
I'm committed to really sharing this body of great and beautiful knowledge with other people. And we're in the age that people need to know.
yes,
And for all you people who have the number 11, you need to know.
yeah,
Okay, it's about knowing.
yeah,
The system of belief, it lasted 2,160 years. We're out of that cycle now. We're in a cycle of knowing. Okay, and that's what the age of Aquarius is all about. Okay, and so with that, I leave everyone with love, gratitude, and may all of us be able to exhibit compassion to one another. Compassion is what's going to help us to heal. And compassion deals with the vibration and energy of the number 9. Okay. Everything that we do has a vibration.
yeah.
Everything.
Well
So
said.
with that, I will be quiet for a moment and
I love it. You speak my language. I love it.
uh,
Thank you so much. I mean, I don't need to follow up with anything after that, but another thank you, and thank you to everyone who has taken the time out to listen and view this video. Please share it with your family, friends, and loved ones. Like and subscribe, all that good stuff. Stay with us, and we'll have more from Lovell soon and the Vibration Society. Again, his information will be down in the comment section. And thank you so much. We really,
well,
really
thank you.
appreciate it. Yes,
Much appreciation and love to you.
absolutely. Same here.
All right. Bye-bye.
All right. Take care.